Hey guys, in our last lecture we have seen how to do long press gesture in Appium. In this lecture we're going to learn how to automate a scroll gesture even in Appium. Welcome to Code Box Automation Lab. This is Shareful. So here is our app, Android app in our emulator. So as you know, there is a one features at the very end which is called views. Let's go to the views. What I mean, the scroll event. So this is views. So inside the views all these options are available. So if I just scroll down, you will see there is a lot more options coming up. If we just scroll down, let's go down, and then let's see one of the option is the web view. So web view is option is one of the last the three options. So at the very end of the page. So that's why to see that web view options we have to scroll down. So if you need to click on web view, definitely before you click on web view you have to scroll down until the web view is visible. Then you can do some sort of like performance, perform some action, like you can click up there. So before you click you have to scroll down up until the web view is visible. So how that's the call, the scrolling, like you have to do the scrolling to see to visible an element. So how you can do automate, how you can handle this kind of scenarios in Appium. Okay, let's see. So let's open our Eclipse. Let's go to our Eclipse. So here, so let's go back first. First we have to click on view in the views, right? Then the page will come up underneath views. So let's go to here. So I create a class. It's called a given name is scroll demo test. As you know, we have a base class, and it's running as a before annotation. We have all the setup information to run the server automatically, UI automator. So give all the it's like your device name, your platform name, everything, right? So over here, back to in our class for the scroll demo, right? So here I'm going to write a code to how to handle this. So to do this, the first you have to let me create a method for this specific test case. So I'll say public void, say given name is scroll test. Okay, scroll test, and then this is the method, the test case method, sorry, and then let me put this one as a test annotation, right? Hover your mouse, okay, and not hover the mouse, okay, import the testing annotation. So inside that, let's go to the body. Over here, so first we have to click on views, right? So from our last exercise, we had to click on views too, I believe. So here is it, we have to click on views, right? So I can just copy the same code and place it up there, which is very simple. I'm just saying driver.find element. You can see find element Appium by accessibility ID. So for the views, there is accessibility IDs clearly shows through the Appium inspector. If you don't know, please watch our last lecture, then you will able to see it, how to use the Appium inspector to find any element. So I use the accessibility ID and the views. So click up there, right? So click on hover your mouse. Okay, let me make this let me make this this class as a as a child of the base class, so that we don't, this error can disappear, can resolve. Extend and then base class, our parent class, so using the inheritance, right? And after this, now its error is gone for the drivers. Now driver get the knowledge from the base, because the base class have the driver knowledge. Save it. So after you click on views, let me see, then I have to scroll down, I have to scroll down up until what's element, say one of the last one, web view. Okay, so assume that this is the one, so it means you are scrolling down up until a specific element. To do this, there is a, so let me write the code, then I will explain you. Okay, so it is something, we'll say driver dot find element, again we can use over there, we are going to use Android UI Automator class. So Android UI Automator class, which is a special wrapper class that comes from Google, right? So to use Android UI Automator, I explained in before in our locator class that an Android UI Automator, to use that we have to use Appium by instead of by. Okay, so driver dot element, and then we'll say Appium by dot we'll use the Android UI Automator, you can see, and it expect a string, return type. So Android UI Automator is a special wrapper class that comes from Android, that come from the Google engine. So in this class, it's in this Google engine, that comes from the Google engine, it expect string, but there is just some argument that you can provide, which is one of the argument, it's that you have to pass, it's called UI scrollable object. So to create object, it means you are going to create an object of a class. So the class name is called UI scrollable, UI scrollable object. So you're creating a so let me open this. So UI scrollable object. Okay, so this is a class, or this is an object you create, in this Google engine Android UI Automator. It is expect an argument as, so this object of UI scrollable. Okay, so in this argument it has a two part you have to provide. You have to provide over there. So inside this object, you have to provide, there's another class, it's called UI selector. So you pass UI selector. So UI selector is the argument of this UI scrollable object. Okay, so you pass UI selector. Okay, so it expect that one, and then so you create this one, and over here underneath this UI scrollable class or object, there is a method, it's called scroll into view. So in scroll into view, that method comes from UI scrollable class or object, and here UI selector object, it's as an argument, work as an argument of this UI scrollable class. I hope that you are able to understood, that you are able to figure out that how it's working. So UI scrollable method, it has so this is the method. You can pass inside this method a text, a text method. Over there you can pass a text method. So we're using a text method. In fact, underneath this UI scrollable method or text method is working as also an as an argument of this UI scrollable view. So text method, inside the text method, you can pass whatever the text is belong to that element that you want to scroll up until. So what's the text? Its text is over here. The element is web view, right? Element is a web view. So web view, so this element have a text which is the web view, right? So we can pass web view, right? We can pass over here web view. So web view, so I hope that W is, let me double check, W is uppercase. Okay, so make sure you type the text. So web view, is a text for the specific element, which is I can pass on text method, and as an argument of this is scroll into view. So it's saying you are going to scroll into view up until you see this web view text. So this is, this is a string and this text method. So overall, so you can see we have a string over here, we have a string, right? A string, and there is another string. So Java will not accept a string inside another string. So to avoid that, we can just add a backslash here, and also backslash here. So then it will not treat as a string anymore. So it will be just only one string. Okay, and then here we have to make it comma this one. So this part, it's only for, this is the part only for this, and after that we have to do the closing. So there is a one closing and there's another closing. So let's put another two more closing bracket. Okay, so that should be good. And then hover our mouse, so insert missing code. Oh, I think I put this one. The code should be not over here. So let me, sorry. The code should be here. One code. Oh, come on. Oh. So it should be here. So this part is done, and then this part is done. It should be good. Insert missing code. Where is the missing code? Okay, that should be good now. So again, let's see how it's working again once again. So Android UI Automator, which comes from the Google engine, and it expect an argument for an object of UI scrollable. So you create an object of UI scrollable class, and inside that it expect another argument, which is UI selector class. So this is up until the UI selector class, right? UI selector class, and after that this is scroll into view. This is the method comes from UI scrollable class. So in this method you can pass a text method. So text method expect a text of the element that you want to scroll. So overall it's saying scroll into view up until this text you see by using UI scrollable object, which comes from the Android UI Automator, you can say class, from which is come from the Google engine. Okay, that should work. So this is something we're using. This is using scroll until view and element. So scroll until view and element. Okay, so this is the one. So let's save it. Okay, let me run it. So over here, let's see, right click, run as test.ng. Okay, still waiting to see the server to kick off. Here we go, we can see the Appium. Okay, so the server is already invoked. Here we go, you can see the app got invoked. So you should click on views. It's clicked on views, and then it should start to scrolling down soon. Still it's waiting. Here we go, you can see it, which is very amazing. You see it's started scrolling down. So it should scroll down up until it's get the text or element, which is the text is web view. So web view we know at the very end, so it should go there. Here we go, so it found the web view, and then you can see this result. So one test run, passed one, no failure. You can see the result also over here. Okay, so that's the way you can do a scrolling to see until a specific element. Okay, so that's one way to do. So there is another way to do scrolling also. So sometimes you don't have you have to scroll, but there's not for any specific element. You have to scroll as long as you have the view, as long as you have the page. Okay, how to do this? So to do this, remember the Appium. So this is, we're back to the Appium, their document, where it's all related the gesture, even how to do the perform the Appium code to handle the gesture, even using a JavaScript executor class, right? Using the JavaScript executor class, or so that's in our last class we have seen that how to perform the long press. So similarly, same, we can use JavaScript executor over here to handle the scroll gesture too. So here is the code, scroll gesture related code over here, Java. We can just copy it and then paste it up there. So before you do, let me see what we have over here. So it's saying, so we're going to call a JavaScript executor method that comes from, and in this method you're going to pass a event, like mobile event, which is the scroll gesture event, right? And then you will pass immutable map, which is the mapping key and value. So inside that you are going to pass number of key value. One is left, which is the value over here. This is the top, which is the value, and the width, and also height. Okay, and also you have to pass the direction. Direction is the key, and what would be the direction? Is the down, up, and also there is a percentage. So what does it mean, all those this key values? So if you go over here in their description over here, you can see over here, when here you can see the left is the left coordinate of the scroll boundary area. Like you have to say what would be the boundary area for your left side. So you have to, that's the left, this is a standard the boundary value for the left side of a screen or of an app. And the top, it's similar things, the top coordinate of the scroll boundary area, the width also the scrolling boundary area, the height is also. So those are the very standard key value for different parameter of an app. Okay, that you have to perform, you have to say. And also the direction, the scroll direction is a mandatory value. You have to tell what would be the direction, like we'll go down, up, so it accept up, down, left, right. Those are the direction it accepts. So over here we're saying direction down, since we're going to scroll down. And the percentage also, this is the size of a scroll as a percentage of the scrolling area size. Valid value must be float number greater than, which is, it should be greater than 0, which is like 1 0.0, which is 100%. This is a mandatory value that you have to also pass. This is a very standard. So let's see, we can use, and what it does, it's return true or false. All those things, this code will return true or false. It means we're scrolling over here, as long as you have the page view, or as long as you have the element. So we're not targeting any specific element. So as long as you have a view, page view or element, it will go down. So it will return is true. As long as you have, if there is a more element or more the page you have, it will keep scrolling. So it will say true, so it will keep going on. So that's why it's returning true or false value. So we put all the things, they put all the things in a variable, and its return type is boolean. That's why its return type is boolean. Okay, let's copy the this code. And by the way, I will share this this document link once again in description below. Okay, let's go back to our class over here. So this is something we're going to use. This is something scroll as long as you have view. Scroll as long as the app has elements, right? As long as the page has, the app has the elements. So it is not specific to element. Okay, it is just you are going to scroll as long as you have element. Okay, so this is something, that's a way we're going to do it, right? So let me paste the code. Okay, so over here, so JavaScript executor, hover your mouse, import the JavaScript as executor. Okay, the related package. So over here, immutable. Okay, hover your mouse, import this one, Google comment. Okay, yes, and then direction left is 100, top is all just fine, everything is fine. Okay, so let me, in this case, I'm going to put this one, let me put this one as a comment so that we can see it. Okay, let's go this one. See, this is, if your system is slow, it will give you some sort of this the app issue, right? So so before I run, let me put this do one more thing. So this will scroll down, right? As long as it has after I click this one, this views, it will scroll down as long as it's an element. How about I can put this one in a do while loop. So it means I can say do, I'm saying do. Okay, let me put this one in a closing bracket. Then I will say while. So let me put this guy outside of this do while block as a boolean. Okay, so that time I don't need to put this boolean over here. Oh, sorry. So I'm saying do these things, how long, and so it will scroll. It will first start to scroll, and then I'm saying, and so this all the scroll even is placed on this variable. So if this I'm saying this perform this scroll, and then I'm saying if this variable is true, it means it has more element. It will check if it's a true, it will go back to there, it will go back to in do block, and it will do the block, it will scroll again. So it will keep continue, the loop will continue as long as this is true. Okay, as long as it's true. Okay, this will do. Okay, so let's run this code. Stingy. Okay, let's see to invoke the server. Okay, I can see the server is invoked, 200 response. The app should kick off soon. Okay, it's reopening the app. It's good. And then it's supposed to click on views. It's clicked on views. Okay, yes, it went so fast, it went down, and it was really fast. So you can see it's the test case is passed, there's no failure. Okay, so that's the way you can perform like to, it's not like a specific element, but it will go down as long as you have element. Okay, so that's the way you can do. So let's do one thing. I can make one thing over here. So what you can do, we're going to do a little bit optimize over here. So we have util class or base class where we can place, this is a reusable code, right? So like so we can put the reusable code in our base class. For example, over here, let's copy this whole thing, this code, and then go back to here in our base class. We can just create a method over here, public void scroll to end. So we're making a method here, so, and paste the code over here, right? So inside this method you're put everything, all the scroll code up until it's scroll down or up until end, and then whenever you need, you can just call this method. So now I can go back to my scroll test over here. I don't need any more this code. I don't need any more this code, so I can just remove this guy and just call that method, right? So just call that method, scroll to end. So it will go back to this base class where we have, and it will call the method and will perform over here, right? And similarly, it was over here, scroll into view an element. We can call this method. We can also, this is like something, we have method that up until element, so we can just go back to your base class, and here you can create another method for that. You can say public void scroll to element. So this is for a specific element, right? And then over there pass that code, right? Over there pass that code, and then here make sure you need to pass over there, here you will pass a specific, so it is a specific element over here. Just pass element ele, so pass this element. It is a string type. Over here it is a string type element, right? It is a string type element, will become over here, and then when you make a call, so instead of this, you go back to there. Here, instead of writing the same code, you can just call that method and pass the element, exactly the element you are looking for. So you can call that method, it is looking for an element, right? So element, it's like, for element, it's that whatever the text would be, right? So whatever the text, you will just pass that text. Say over here, in our case, it is a web view, so you will say web view, right? Right, so you are passing the string web view. So web view, it will go up there and it will place, it will go to, right, scroll into view. Oh, sorry. So create a method, right? Okay, sorry for that. Oh, I didn't save the base class. Maybe that's why I didn't able to recognize. Come to here, now you can see, right? So when it's called that method, it will come over here, and then the element over here, which is the web view, right? So web view will be placed over here in this element. So this web view will come to over here, and then it will perform scroll down up until that web view. Okay, so that's the way you can make some utility method, like reusable code, and wherever you need, you can just call that method and just pass actual argument, actual value, and it will apply there. Okay, let me do one more things from our previous long press. So long press, I have over here also method we create a web driver. You know what, let me do it in our next lecture. So I don't want to make the videos too long. Okay, so over here we'll just do the optimize. So we'll move the code from our long press related method and put it on a base class, so that we can make a very generic method, and wherever we need we can call and it will go there. Okay, thanks a lot. That's all for today. Have a good one. Bye bye.